how you doing? It's your friend here, John Madrid, with John Madrid's Factory Direct. So again, thanks again for watching these videos, following us, liking them, sharing them, commenting on them, and most importantly, of course, giving us an opportunity to help you guys get a new house, okay? So the cool part is what I try to do in exchange is provide you guys with daily value, content that may answer questions that you guys either have or haven't thought about, but once you hear it, you're like, you know what, I did think about that, or I was wondering that. And maybe some of these questions I'm answering for you will stop you from waiting, because we've done a video on how expensive it is to wait, and it does get costly. All right, so digging into today's lesson or subject, right? So essentially today's is about our broker program. So the broker program, the reason I'm calling it that is because that's what it is. Just to kind of point it out, for me to even be able to come to you guys and offer you a new home for sale, or even a used home for sale, because I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, I want a used house. That's fine too. Guess what? We have access to those as well, right? So us here at John Madrid's Factory Direct, we had to get a license, which we've had for 7-8 years. I've been doing this personally for about 12, so over a decade. But we chose to get the 3 licenses. Retailer, so the R license is the ability to be able to sell homes and to you guys, for example, and buy them directly from the factory. Because according to the way the laws are written, you can't, or you're not supposed to be able to purchase directly from a factory at wholesale without the retailer license. So we are licensed and bonded through the state of Texas, okay? Then there's your B license. So remember, we talked retailer, then we talked about, or now we're fixing to talk about the B, the broker, okay? That's part of the RBI. If you look in this ad at the bottom, you'll see RBI 36925. You can actually look it up on the website. We're legit. We are an organization that's licensed, bonded, and insured through the state. So the B license is what I want to discuss today. So the B license is the broker license. Now, what that has to do with is that's kind of, if you've ever heard of the term broker, it's kind of the middleman, right? So we can also, let's say that you're right now watching this video and you're sitting in a manufactured home, kind of like I am, that I used to live in and converted it into my office. But let's say you're sitting there and you're like, man, I really need to get a new house or an upgrade, but I don't have any down payment. You may be living in your down payment. A lot of people don't think about that, right? Or they think, well, I don't want to trade it in because I hear horror stories about trade-ins, which you shouldn't. I'm actually going to do a different video on trade-ins. That way you guys can understand more in depth what a trade-in actually is. But again, there's always a negative connotation behind, trading in your house, which that's okay. You don't have to. We can be your broker for your used home, right? So let's say, for example, you're sitting in here and this is just one example of dozens. You're thinking to yourself, I don't have a down payment, but you're living in your manufactured house that you want to upgrade and it's paid off. And even if it's not paid off, but we're just going to use for this example that it's paid off, right? And you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what to do, but I know I don't want to trade it in. If you don't, then you call us and you say, hey, I want to upgrade, but I don't want to do a trade-in. And then you tell us all about your used home, right? Because there's a market for that. People hit me up every single day saying, hey, do you have any used houses? Do you have any used homes? And we do, okay? So what we could do is say, hey, if you don't want to trade, no problem. Again, we're not here to pressure you to do something you don't want to do. We want you to make you feel, or we want to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So we can be like, hey, let's sign a broker deal. So I become your broker. So in other words, you send me pictures, and I'll give you all the details again. This one's going into that, but we'll talk about the trade-in as well. So I'll have you send me some pictures, not 1,000, let's say one of each bedroom, one of each bathroom, one of the laundry room, one of the kitchen, a couple of the outside. And then I always recommend, and I joke with my clients, I'm like, hey, clean the house first because we want to use those to advertise, right? So then what we'll do is there's a NATA, or a HUD label, NTA, but depending on the manufacturer, they use different letters and numbers, but there's going to be a red or a silver plate on the back of your mobile home, or your manufactured home, So with that information, I can literally look up your title, who owns it, where it's located, if there's any liens, if the taxes are current, all that stuff. It's public record, okay? Which I can also do a different video on that to kind of educate you, okay, on how to buy a used home the right way. But either way, that'll give us the opportunity to post it on social media, on my page. If you're following this page, you know we have, 20,000 plus followers. So it'll get out to a lot of people. Plus we have a sales team that will help push your home. Plus all the people that are calling us and asking us, hey, do you have any used homes? We can be like, yeah, we have this one, and this one. And then we also have access to pull up an NADA. So an NADA, what that is that's the guideline that the banks use to determine what your home is worth if it's financed. Of course, if somebody pays cash, it's whatever the customer's willing to pay you for the home, okay? But either way, there is a process to this. So we can get pictures, we sign an agreement, we become your exclusive broker. We start to try to sell your house as soon as possible. Let's say you want $10,000 for the house and we get you $10,000. We charge 10% of the sales price. So if we help you sell the house, let's say for 10 grand, we get $1,000, and then that 9 grand you can use towards your down if you need all 9. Let's say you only need 5. Well, you paid us $1,000 for selling it. We did all the work. You keep 9 grand. You only have to put 5,000 down, and you still pocketed 4 grand. So you came out ahead thinking you didn't have a down payment when you're living in your down payment by utilizing our broker program. In other words, you're helping us get other clients used homes, helping yourself by getting out of the used home that you no longer want because you feel like you need an upgrade, which is good. But keep in mind, somebody else may see your home as an upgrade to where they're at. So it's constantly the moving circle of life, right? So we always want to help each other. So again, broker program, we do sell used homes. We can do trade-ins if you want. Again, I'm going to do a different video on trade-ins, but we don't have to trade it in. We can broker it. I become your exclusive broker. I advertise it, market it, take applications on it, get somebody approved. In other words, do the hard work for you to get it sold, and we just charge 10%. So if we sell it for 10, we make 1,000. Let's say you have a house that sells for 100, you pay us 10, you keep 90. So that's still a very good deal, okay? If we don't sell it, we don't get paid. So you don't come out of pocket at all unless we do our job and sell your home, okay? And you don't have to broker a deal with us if you're going to buy a new house. Sometimes we have people that will broker a house with us because they're selling it and they're moving out of town and they no longer need it, or they're moving into a site build, or whatever the case may be, all right? And then we've had success stories. Like recently, a few months ago, we sold a man camp, right? 10 units used. We got them sold in 45 days. It's a huge deal for our company, huge deal for our clients. And they were actually repeat customers because I sold them those new. They called me back. They were like, hey, can you buy these back from me? Of course, I bought them back and we got rid of them. And same thing with you guys. If you buy a house, let's say that you buy one now and 3 to 5 years from now, you want me to buy it back or broker it so I can help you sell it, done. Okay, so if you haven't realized, here at John Madrid's Factory Direct, we do everything. You don't have to do business with anybody else but us, okay? So today's deal was about the broker program, the fact that we have the broker license, that's the B in our RBI, and I'll do a different video on the retailer and the installer license. But remember, you do not have to trade it in if you don't want to, but you can. And we can do a broker deal and we sell it for you. And we don't get paid unless we sell it. And then again, if let's say you're a commercial client and you're in need of man camp housing, or you have old ones that you'd like to sell so you can buy new ones, hit me up, 432-201-1105. So again, guys, thank you for watching. Call, text, email me, hit me up on Facebook. Whatever works for you works for me. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. All right? Thanks again. Again, it's your friend here, John Madrid.